What's going on, everyone? This is William A. Thomas, one of the hosts of TNJ Radio, back at it again with another story. Before we actually get started, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. You don't want to miss any of the upcoming videos. We have a lot coming for you, especially it's Throwback Thursday, and we got a throwback indeed for you. So let's get into it. Evander Holyfield, y'all. Who would have thought? The real deal, former heavyweight champion of the world, one of the ones who defeated Mike Tyson numerous times. He fought a little, he lost a little, particularly his ear. But right now, he's coming back to fight Belfort. Not Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, even though they're probably about the same age. And it wouldn't be as interesting of a fight, but people would probably pay to see it in this day of age. Triller Fight Club is bringing boxing icon Evander Holyfield, who will fight MMA legend Vitor Belfort. It's going to be a heavyweight fight, and there's going to be a lot going on. You know, at that fight, September 11th, 7 p.m. Eastern time is when they actually start the undercards. And I'm interested to see who's actually on there. But this is another Legends fight. Is anyone excited? Because for a lot of people, they're not. To be honest, I actually had a lot of excitement going into the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. fight. I wanted to see Mike in action. Mike was looking good. You saw him over on the beach, looking trimmed, looking like he could go and fight again. And honestly, I thought that maybe they might have been ready to pit him against someone younger, but they did. They pitted him against Roy Jones, who was the younger, older looking person. Roy Jones looked like he could be Mike Tyson's bigger brother. But I digress. Getting on to this fight, to be honest, physically, Evander Holyfield, he looks great. To be in his 50s, it looks, and I say looks, as if he could go out and fight some of the current heavyweights. But here's the truth. When you're in that age category, in most situations, you have no chance. Because regardless of what your mind says, there's the issue of what your body says. And getting hit in your 50s is different than your 20s or even your 30s. So I hope that they have some type of rules set up and that no one gets killed, no one gets hurt. But all in all, everyone wants to be able to get their entertainment. Ice Cube was one of the ones who actually started this with the Big Three, bringing old timers to play basketball, and it's just continuing on. So people see an opportunity to be able to make money, then why not? But does this speak to the weakness of the boxing sport? Has boxing went downhill? Is boxing not really making the splash that it was making in the 90s? Because in the 90s, there were some old timers that were fighting. I can't recall any that were in their 50s, but by the time Larry Holmes was fighting Mike Tyson, he was a little bit on the washed up side. By the time a lot of old timers, you know, during that time in the 90s, an old timer was someone that was in their upper 30s or going into their early 40s. George Foreman getting that knockout win, that was something that was legend because he was in his 40s. Nobody would have expected that at that time. They considered George Foreman an old man at that time whenever he got that win. So with these people coming back, is there someone that you particularly want to see? To be honest, I don't think I really want to see much more of this. Some people may like it, but my concern is that someone's going to be genuinely hurt. And I'm not talking about feelings. Also, speaking of throwbacks, we have a special guest that's going to be calling the fight. Um, this guest has been around for some time, some involvement in the boxing arena. You guys may know him as President Donald Trump, former president. Some know him as the Donald, but believe it or not, he's actually going to be calling the fight. As far as what he'll be able to do in regards to it, I don't know. I don't know how much Donald Trump actually knows about boxing. Obviously, he's been around the boxing world for a really long time, especially hosting fights at his casinos. He was a really good friend with Mike Tyson, as well as a lot of boxers at the time. But this could be a throwback of the throwbacks. We have older boxers. We have a MMA fighter who probably wouldn't want to fight the younger people in MMA, so he's going over to another sport to try to get some money. And Belfort, I definitely recommend you're doing the right thing. If you can get paid off of this, then great. But according to some reports, and let me just go over to our friends at TMZ real quick. 1 second. Okay, here we go. According to former President Donald Trump, I'm getting an obscene amount of money for calling the Holyfield and Belfort fight. Now, one thing that I always say, it doesn't really matter whether you deserve it or not. It's a matter of what you can negotiate. And according to former President Trump, they made him an offer that he wasn't able to turn away. So this should be interesting, or it could be completely boring and crazy. Who knows how this is going to turn up? Also, apparently Don Jr. is going to be there helping him to call the fights. It's not stated whether he's going to actually get paid or not, but we're shaping up to see a lot of throwbacks going on this Saturday night fight. Do you want to see more of these fights that Triller's going to be bringing? Do you want to see the senior citizens fighting with their walkers? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Do you want to see a oxygen battle? You want to see whoever pulls the other opponent's oxygen tank first wins? That we don't want to see that. That actually would be pretty violent and downright evil. So we definitely don't want to see that. But with all that said, is there a problem going on in the sports world? Are there not enough dynamic athletes in their regular sport to be able to support these sports? Because now we're seeing a lot of cross athletic ventures going on. We're starting to see boxers, MMA fighters do boxing. We're starting to see YouTubers do boxing. You're going to soon see probably more celebrity stuff. Like you might have the football. We're going to have the football basketball league pretty soon. And I think that people might actually watch. I wouldn't want to see it. But what say you guys? Do we need to put a stop to the Triller and demand that we get regular athletes back? Or should we give the people what the people want? Who knows? That's your sip of T&J. You guys have a great day.